Good day and welcome to another edition of Sharing Trade Information on Global Trade Tutor. In this series of video, I'll be talking about China. Now, China is a very important country, a country that is the largest exporter in the world and second largest importer in the world. US is the largest importer in the world and second largest exporter in the world. China has become a major force in recent time, and any individual looking to do business in any country, you definitely want to do business with China, particularly sending raw materials and intermediate product to China. It's important to know that intermediate product is a big deal now in the world. Intermediate product basically means the product is not raw and the product is not finished. And China, being an industrial nation, highly industrialized nation, purchase a lot of these kind of products, particularly primary raw materials and intermediate product, because all these help them to be able to create jobs for their people. As a matter of fact, I'm aware there are some products you can't export finished to China. Why? Because it must be processed in China. Now, these are the kind of policy that China have in mind, or China have put in place to be able to ensure that its country is not a dumping ground, but rather its country, so is the import of China is deliberately targeted to be able to attract raw materials required for manufacturing and intermediate product required for production within the country. In fact, sometimes governments set up a trading company and government fund those trading companies, and those trading companies purchase these raw materials and stockpile them so that when organizations, manufacturing companies, factories need them and they don't have enough cash, they can buy from this trading company. This trading company can even help them issue a letter of credit while the good is on the way. Then they can pay this trading company later. These are the kind of policy and initiative that China has put in place, beyond also the incentive that China gives to its businesses. Now, in this series, I'll be looking at, it's going to be about 20 videos, and I'll be looking at different products, from raw materials to machine and equipment, to precious metals, to transportation, to metal product, to oil product, to foodstuff, to clothing, to different products, animal product, packaged medicament, chemical product that China is importing into its country. By the way, the import volume of China is over $2 trillion. Global trade is just about 24, $25 trillion. And China alone is taking up over $2 trillion. That tells you the level of dependence of the global economy on China. So let's go. There's another interesting product in China, a very interesting product in China that China is spending $161 billion to buy. $161 billion to buy. You know, China population is very huge. In as much as they themselves produce this chemical product. You know, chemical is used to produce many things. Many things. A lot of industrialization produce many various kind of chemical products. And China is not an exemption in this. The demand of China for chemical product is 161 billion. Interestingly, out of this demand, packaged medicament, that's packaged medicine, drug, is 11.7%. The next on the list of demand in China for different chemical products is vaccine, blood, antiserum, toxin, and culture. Which is often used in lab, and culture. And this accounts for about 10.03% of the $1.61 billion. Cyclic hydrocarbon. The demand for cyclic hydrocarbon is 10.02%. 10.02%. Then, another interesting product China buys in large quantities is beauty product. 6.93%. China produces beauty products. You know what I discovered? A number of countries, they import the same thing they produce. They import the same thing they produce. They import the same thing they produce. It's a strategy. It's a strategy. It's a strategy. In those countries, there are items that the people, most of the time, is elite that tends to import some other product, maybe of a higher standard, but not produced in their country, produced in another country, and they want to separate themselves from others. So the people importing is a strategy to target a particular set of people. Acylic alcohol, 5.45%. Carbonate, 3.92%. Acylic hydrocarbon, 3.61%. Industrial fatty acid, oil, and alcohol, 3.29%. Potassic fertilizer, 2.57%. It's interesting that fertilizer import in China is very low. Most likely, they probably also are producing the fertilizer themselves. Hydrogen, 2.15%. This chemical for electronics, 1.88%. Nitrogen heterocyclic compound, 1.65%. Cleaning product, China produce a lot of cleaning product themselves, but they also import cleaning product, 1.31%. Radioactive chemicals, 1.27%. China imports pesticide, 0.3%. Glue, 0.81%. 0.81%. Glue, phenol, 0.97%. Lubricating product, 1.06%. So you can see that China is spending a huge amount of money, a whopping sum of $121 billion is what China is spending to import various kinds of chemical products from all around the world.